everybody, it's Gail from Gail's Bookish Things. Long time no see. I have missed doing videos. I think it's been like 3 weeks. We've had a really busy couple of weeks in there. I was doing a lot of canning. I'm learning how to do that, both the water bath canning and pressure canning. And I had some produce that was given to us, a bunch of squash, so I was trying to do stuff with that. And it just felt really busy. And then my son had a 3-day speech and debate competition, which we were helping at. And then we had an early Easter last weekend, and everything was just busy with things that came up or maybe were on the schedule that aren't usually part of our daily routine. So finally I'm back, and I thought it'd be really fun to talk about switching out inks. I have been at a very happy place with pen and inks. As you can see right now, I just have 4 TWSBIs inked up. I've talked about all the colors in these before, but I have the Noodlers 1984. This is the J. Urban Gris Orage, Stormy Gray. This is Edelstein, I think that's how you're supposed to say it, Olivine in there. I love that. And then this is the TWSBI Jade, and it is filled with Coombe Idwal. Liking all these. They're all a pretty wet, flowy, juicy ink, and the nibs are good. And so it's been a very happy place. I'm not feeling like I need to buy inks or pens, and I'm trying to avoid watching too many things that would make me want to do that, because I have plenty. It's always fun to try a new ink. But anyway, trying to just use what I have. I do want to just mention, and curious if anybody has experienced any trouble with the nib on this. Several have commented that they find their broad nib is super broad, very wet. And I would agree with that, but I also have just a little bit of a hard start with this. And that's unusual in my experience with TWSBIs, which is very limited. I will give you that. I'm not a pen expert, but I use them oftentimes, and usually I don't have any trouble. That one just a little bit, but still I'm loving it. Most of these are close to being dry, used up. I will probably keep this one filled with the Gris Orage, J. Urban Stormy Gray. I absolutely love that. These are all good, but I do want to try some of my other pens for a while. So here's my thought. April showers bring May flowers. So whoever made up all those sayings, I think they're just covering their back, because first we have March comes in like a lion and goes out like a lamb. March, April, so you're expecting April to be sunny and sunshine and, you know, all that springy type weather. And then lo and behold, April showers bring May flowers. So it's not always the case. We've had some gorgeous, beautiful days, as we are having now. Let me fix my screen here. It's so crooked. And yet it has been super cold and super windy on some days. So it's beautiful today, but it's like just windstorm practically out there. So I thought, getting back to my point, that April showers would be a fun thing to focus on and use some blues or teals that would be kind of representing rain. I was going to use my Yamabudo, which is not a blue ink, but I'm going to save that for the May flower aspect and bring in some bright colors as the weather morphs into a more consistent sunny and warm weather. But we are enjoying some beautiful flowers. In fact, that does make me want to use this. We have red buds that are purple. Explain that one. Blooming all over town. Absolutely gorgeous. What is it? Bradford pear, some forsythia. So many beautiful colors in that, you know, fresh green of spring. But anyway, I want to focus on the blues. So I'm going to use my Ackerman Deepwater Blue. This definitely on the more teal side, but I haven't used it in a while. You can see by the dust. My Lamy, I think it's called teal. That's funny. I don't remember for sure. And then this Colorverse Blue Moon came with a pen purchase. I haven't done much with that, so I want to play around with that and see how I like it. I will, of course, transfer all the information to my ink log and kind of update that. I've been a bit behind on that, but I will catch that up and we'll do a little swatching at the end. And these are where I'm storing pens I'm not currently using. You can see I have a lot of the same thing here, the Kavekos. I don't think I'm going to use one of those right now. What I want to do is my Franklin Christoph, because it's kind of a more on the green side, but still I thought it would work in the blue category. Then my Monteverde, what is it called? That's not even right. Leonardo Officina something. It's been so long since, it's not Monteverde, it's Monte something. And then my Sailor Pro Gear Slim. Okay, I had to take a pause there, and I wanted to look this up. Silly me. Can't remember the name of the pen, but it's the Leonardo Momento Zero. This is a broad nib, and it's Blue Lagoon color. It's called a couple different things depending on where I look. I've seen it called a few different things, but that's what I'll refer to it as. I have my broad nib in the Franklin Christoph, which I bought after purchasing it from my friend Jen. Before that, it was a F Sig, I think, metallic Sig nib, and I have that here. So I might try that for something different. I love the broad pen nib writing experience, but that one is super cool in that fine Sig nib. I'm trying to find my notes on it off to the side because I haven't used these in so long. This is antique glass, by the way, and it came with the Sig nib, which was a fine. It's a stub italic gradient is what that Sig stands for. And then this is my Sailor Pro Gear Slim. I forget the color of it. It's a beautiful, beautiful pen. But in all honesty, I just haven't been wild about the writing experience. It seems super dry to me. Even when I put in some of these inks that I consider a wetter type ink. I may put the Lamy ink in there. Also, the Kujaku, the Iroshizuku ink might be a good one in here, but I feel like I've tried that, and it's still just not great. I did even have the company that I bought it from try to adjust it, and I assume that they did, but I just don't find it a very pleasing writing experience, which is kind of too bad because it's the most expensive pen I have, and it is gorgeous, but I don't gravitate towards it at all because of how it seems to be so dry. So I will ink these up and come back, and then we might just mark up the ink log. See you in a minute. The first one I'm going to ink up will be my Leonardo, and you can take it apart and do it like this. It also has this, which I've never used, but it might be fun to try it with that, but I kind of like being able to see what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and put the Ackerman Deepwater Blue in this one. Just thought I'd point that out if you are not familiar at all with this pen, that is also a feature that you can get. Okie dokie, I am back. They're inked up, and you can see the evidence of a inking. Try as I might, I did not, well, I didn't try real hard, but I did try a little bit not to get messy, but the Deepwater Blue had a little bit of trouble with. So anyway, here they are written down here. I thought we would just do a little swatching together, and I will try to hold it up and get a little bit of a close-up. I do love this Deepwater Blue. It's been a good ink for me in all of my pens. I've had a very pleasant writing experience, even with my Kavekos that I feel like sometimes run dry. So since we talked about April showers, I thought I'd do a raindrop swatch Now, technically, the rain is clear, but to illustrate it with blue. This is just a nice blue, like an indigo blue. I've heard it described. Actually, my friend Donna, I believe, said it's sort of like a blue jean blue or something like that. And I thought that was a good description. I love this blue. And this, I think, is going to be a good blend because when I wrote just this little bit of information with this Lamy teal ink in this pen, it seemed to go pretty good. I don't feel like this is the best fountain pen friendly paper, but I'm not disliking this too much. I just feel like this paper is kind of absorbent. And this still has a dry feel, but maybe on my Cosmo Air Light or Timoli River, it may be a better blend. It just doesn't look like a broad at all to me. It doesn't feel like a broad nib, but it's a beautiful color ink, and I think it's a fun ink to go with this pen. So I'm gonna really commit to trying that and just seeing if I can figure out something. And then in my Franklin Christoph, I switched out the nib, so it's the fine sig nib now rather than the broad. My broad nib with this was giving me a little bit of trouble too, and I contacted them and they really didn't offer to try to fix the problem. They just said maybe try some new inks. So I just didn't feel like going through all the effort. I have not had any trouble with this fine nib. It just is a way different feel. It can write really small, which is super fun. And I think it would be good for note-taking. I usually take notes during our Sunday school class or the sermon, and I think it's a wonky water drop, that this will probably be a really good combination. So this just is nice, light blue. It looks very springy. Of course, that's more teal. That's a deeper blue, deep water. I mean, that's what I picture when I see that, like something magical and something or other. Anyway, I think the ink I previously used stained that a little bit. I did try to get it clean. This is really fun. I was super happy when my friend Jen offered it to me to purchase. I love the ends on it where there's just that block of clear. It's really pretty. It does, I think, tend to stain a little bit more easily than some. But I do like writing, and I did want to point out it has this nice number 6 nib. I love the big nibs on these pens. They look really cool to me. I feel like they need a bigger nib than they sometimes have just for appearances. And then I decided to do a 4th. This is my Lamy Vista. This is a broad nib also. And I put the good old Noodler's 54th Massachusetts, which is kind of a, depending on your paper really, it looks pretty dark here. It can also look very light on other paper, but it makes me think of sort of a grade blue. I really like writing with this. It's a super wet ink. You can tell how thick the line went down here, maybe. And also, that might be good for this pen, although I think I've tried it before, and it just was not what I thought. So I'm going to keep these other ones inked up maybe just for a few more days, or I might rinse them out since they're so low, because I don't like having too many pens going at once. I don't feel like I get a good evaluation when I have so many. I never know which ones to take. I'm putting all these lovely pens in this beautiful case from my friend Kim. Isn't that pretty? So I'll use that and get it snapped. Use that for a few more weeks and see what May brings us. Maybe we'll actually have some May flowers from all of these April showers. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye.